In the early centuries of the Christian faith, the landscape of belief was diverse and often contentious. The Roman Empire, with its pantheon of gods and philosophical schools, provided a backdrop that was both challenging and fertile for the emergence of Christian apologetics. This discipline, which sought to defend and explain the Christian faith, began to take shape as believers faced skepticism, persecution, and the need to articulate their beliefs in a way that was intelligible to a broader audience. The roots of Christian apologetics can be traced back to the 1st century, shortly after the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. The Apostle Paul stands out as one of the earliest figures to engage in apologetic discourse. His letters, particularly those to the Corinthians and the Galatians, reveal a man deeply concerned with defending the faith against both external critiques and internal divisions. Paul's approach was multifaceted. He drew upon Jewish scripture to argue for the legitimacy of Jesus as the Messiah, while simultaneously addressing the cultural and philosophical context of his audience. His famous speech at the Areopagus in Athens, where he spoke of the unknown God, exemplifies his strategy of connecting Christian beliefs with the philosophical inquiries of the time. As Christianity began to spread beyond its Jewish roots, it encountered a variety of worldviews that necessitated a more formalized approach to defense. The 2nd century saw the emergence of key figures who would lay the groundwork for Christian apologetics as a distinct field. Among these was Justin Martyr, a philosopher turned Christian, who sought to engage with Greco-Roman philosophy and demonstrate the compatibility of reason and faith. Justin's First Apology is a seminal work in which he defends Christians against accusations of atheism and immorality, arguing instead that Christianity is the fulfillment of the highest philosophical ideals. He famously claimed that whatever is true is ours, suggesting that truth found in other philosophical traditions ultimately points to Christ. This era also witnessed the rise of Irenaeus, Bishop of Lyons, whose work Against Heresies was a robust defense against Gnostic interpretations of Christianity. Irenaeus emphasized the importance of tradition and the authority of the Church in interpreting Scripture. His insistence on the unity of the Old and New Testaments laid a foundation for a coherent Christian theology that would withstand the challenges posed by various heretical movements. Irenaeus's focus on apostolic succession and the role of the Church as a guardian of truth was pivotal in establishing a framework for future apologetic efforts. The context in which these early apologists operated was one of significant tension. Christians were often marginalized, viewed with suspicion by the broader society, and subjected to persecution. The Roman authorities, concerned about the potential for social unrest, often labeled Christians as subversive. This persecution not only galvanized the faith, but also prompted apologists to articulate a vision of Christianity that highlighted its moral and social contributions. Tertullian, another prominent figure of the 2nd and 3rd centuries, famously stated, "The blood of the martyrs is the seed of the Church," illustrating how persecution could serve to strengthen the resolve of believers and attract new converts. Tertullian's writings marked a turning point in apologetic thought, as he was one of the first to use the term apology in the context of defending the faith. His works, such as Apology and Against Marcion, were characterized by a fierce rhetoric that sought to confront both paganism and heretical teachings. Tertullian's emphasis on the authority of Scripture and the significance of the resurrection became central tenets in the apologetic tradition. His assertion that what is objectionable is that it is believed reflects a keen awareness of the cultural dynamics at play and an acknowledgement of the need to engage with the prevailing philosophical discourse. As the 3rd century progressed, the landscape of Christian apologetics continued to evolve. Origen, one of the most influential theologians of the early Church, emerged as a key figure in this development. His work, On First Principles, sought to provide a systematic theology that addressed both the intellectual challenges of the time and the spiritual needs of the Church. Origen's allegorical interpretation of Scripture opened new avenues for understanding the faith, allowing for a synthesis of faith and reason that would resonate with later thinkers. His emphasis on the pre-existence of the soul and the ultimate restoration of all beings to God demonstrated a commitment to exploring the mysteries of faith in a way that was intellectually rigorous. The rise of the Christian Empire under Constantine in the 4th century marked a significant shift in the context of apologetics. With Christianity becoming the state religion, the apologetic task transitioned from defense against persecution to the articulation of a coherent theological framework for a diverse and growing church. Figures like Athanasius and Augustine became pivotal in addressing both internal divisions and external critiques. Athanasius's defense of the Nicene Creed against Arianism exemplified the need for a robust theological foundation in the face of heretical teachings. His work on the Incarnation offered profound insights into the nature of Christ and the significance of the Incarnation, providing a powerful apologetic for the divinity of Jesus. Augustine, perhaps the most influential Christian thinker of the early church, took the apologetic tradition to new heights. His confessional style and introspective approach in works like Confessions and City of God not only defended the faith but also engaged with the philosophical currents of his time. Augustine's exploration of the nature of evil, free will, and divine grace provided a comprehensive framework for understanding the human condition in relation to God. His ability to articulate the Christian experience in a way that resonated with both believers and skeptics solidified his place as a central figure in the development of Christian thought. The impact of early Christian apologetics on the development of the faith cannot be overstated. These early apologists laid the groundwork for a tradition that would continue to evolve and adapt in response to new challenges. Their writings not only defended Christianity against external critiques, but also shaped the internal coherence of the faith. The emphasis on scripture, tradition, and reason established a framework for theological discourse that would endure through the centuries. Moreover, the early apologists contributed to the development of a distinct Christian identity. In a world marked by competing ideologies, their efforts to articulate a coherent and compelling vision of the faith helped to unify believers and foster a sense of community. The narratives of martyrdom, the articulation of Christian ethics, and the defense of core doctrines created a shared foundation that transcended cultural and geographical boundaries. As Christianity continued to spread throughout the Roman Empire and beyond, the apologetic tradition would adapt to new contexts and challenges. The legacy of those early figures, Paul, Justin, Irenaeus, Tertullian, Origen, Athanasius, and Augustine, remains a testament to the enduring power of reasoned faith. Their contributions not only shaped the early church, but also laid the groundwork for future generations of believers who would continue to engage with the complexities of faith in an ever-changing world. In the centuries that followed, the work of these early apologists would inspire countless others to take up the mantle of defense and explanation. The church would face new challenges, from the rise of Islam to the Enlightenment, each demanding a thoughtful and reasoned response. The seeds planted by the early apologists would bear fruit in the works of later theologians and philosophers, who would grapple with the implications of faith in a rapidly changing world. The narrative of early Christian apologetics is not merely a historical account. It is a testament to the resilience and adaptability of faith. It highlights the importance of engaging with the world, of seeking understanding in the face of doubt, and of articulating beliefs in a way that resonates with the human experience. The legacy of these early figures continues to inspire contemporary believers to engage thoughtfully with their faith, to defend it with reason and conviction, and to seek a deeper understanding of the divine in a complex and often challenging world. The story of early Christian apologetics is, at its core, a story of faith seeking understanding, a journey that continues to unfold through the ages.